Go. What is up, everybody? We're back with another interview. JD from TheOtakuFix, G as well. We're here with the second half of the creators of Lords of Goblins. So we have today Moon and we have Hadi as well. Can you guys give a brief introduction of yourselves and what exactly are the roles that you play on Lords of Goblins?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. Basically, I'm the CEO of Moon Quill, and I used to handle book publication for Moon Quill. I've moved on to webcomics since. It's kind of I would say it's the main focus of our company for now. It's definitely where most of our revenue comes from these days. So I'm focusing on a lot of it. Lord of Goblins first was, I guess, brought to me by Mike and Hattie as a book, and then Mike and Hattie pitched to me basically a Webtoon prologue chapter. I really liked it. I was like, this is maybe an industry that we can get into.
Mm-hmm.
I severely underestimated the costs associated with creating webcomics when we first got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to put like $1,000, $2,000 into it, make a few chapters. By the time we got the contract signed with Webtoon, I think I'd put like a good like $30,000-$40,000 into it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I'm basically the producer. I kind of just make sure everything's running. If there's anything that requires compromise, I usually try and throw out something that works for the entire team. I basically am just the guy who problem solves, I would say.
Okay.
And then, Mike and Hattie and Rob, they handle most of the production. Hattie in particular is mostly the encyclopedia, I would say, of Lord of Goblins. You have any questions about any of the lore, you go to Hattie. Speaking of, Hattie.
Yeah.
Hey. So, my name is Hadi, and I'm one of the two co-authors of Lord of Goblins. Like Moon said, Mike and I pitched the idea to him. We started out on Roy Road, and then we began. And once we finished the first draft of the book, we presented it to Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And about the encyclopedia thing, Mike helps as much, if not more, than me. We're a team.
Definitely. So, go ahead. What?
They very much work hand in hand. They're basically married at this point.
What can I say? The power team.
Power team. Sounds good. All right. So Moon, you said you're you're CEO of Moon Quill, correct? Okay. So how did you start this company? How did you start it? What drove you to start it? Just tell us about the process of that.
So the start of Moon Quill is actually kind of like a revenge plot.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, a long time ago, Web Novel had this contest called the Beyond the Language or something.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you could win up to $20,000 by participating, and they would sign you on as an original, right? So basically, I think in like 2017, they reached out to me and a few other authors and were like, hey, you won, congratulations, can you start posting this stuff on our site? What ended up happening was I don't think they had it planned it out really well, but basically 6 original books got put on the website, and immediately, because there was no explanation as to why all of these original books were popping up, everyone just started like flaming these books and going like, why the hell is this shit on Web Novel? Where's my translated works? And then we got bombarded for like 3 days, and then they put like an announcement going like, hey, we're opening up our originals program. If you want to write on Web Novel, have at it. And then that was all fine and dandy. It worked out pretty well. But they never ended up paying any of the people who won the contest. And, they're never going to. It's been, 6-7 years since then? They never did. Basically, a bunch of the authors who were in the top like 50 most popular in web novel original section. I think at the time we left, we were like the first, second, third, fifth, and like 20 other in the top 50. We're all just like, hey, why don't we make something for ourselves? And just kind of avoid all of the bad stuff that web novel is doing and how it's like screwing over authors and stuff. Because by this time, the web novel contract had more or less become public, right? It wasn't supposed to be public, but it was around on the internet. And we were all kind of just like, we don't really want to work under that. So we were like, why don't we make Moon Quill? That's kind of how Moon Quill started. Since then, we've definitely struggled for a few years. We've had to pivot. We pivoted from the web novel platform to book publishing. And from book publishing, we kind of screwed around is the best way to put it, because we didn't have too much idea of what we were doing at the beginning. But we kind of tested the waters in audiobooks, and then we did the same in webcomics with Lord of Goblins. And then we spent a lot of money learning, basically. I think we're in a pretty good place now. We understand book publishing, audiobooks, and webcomics pretty well, and those are kind of the three main areas we're focusing on now. And you know, we've made some friends in the space. The people at Athon Books, we earlier this year, or I guess late last year, we started talking together about making some webcomics together, and we've been kind of just trading knowledge since.
Okay, sounds good. And Hattie, how did you join Moon Quill? Like, what was the process with you joining, or were you already a part from the very beginning?
No. It began with me and Mike. After we wrote the first draft of Lord of Goblins and published on Royal Road, we started searching for a publisher, because self-publishing isn't easy.
Yeah.
Not at all. So basically, Mike found Moon Quill, and he got along with Moon. Eventually, I met the guy, and I agreed on the contract. And from there started a wonderful relationship.
Had it like, look, it's very simple. We met, I liked them. Let's just start it. Let's get it.
That is basically how it went.
Really, that simple?
I've definitely lost some hair since we met. There's a lot of stress along the way.
You and me both.
We've put a lot into the Lord of Goblins series.
Yeah, it's definitely been a crazy ride for y'all with Lord of Goblins, from canvas and now original.
Yeah. Has the team grown much as a result of becoming an original?
Well, on our side, not much. It's on the webcomic side, it's always been me, Rob, Mike, and Hattie. On the artist side, though, like Comic Studio side, it's definitely grown. When we first started out, it was one artist who was kind of struggling to put out chapters, and I think she was also having some family troubles. So she had to leave the project, and for a while the project was kind of just in limbo. I think there was a span of like 3 or 4 months where we just didn't have any chapters getting made. And that's also when a lot of people online were just like, hey, why are the uploads so slow? And we're just like, we're trying not to die here. You know, like, we're doing what we can. But over time, the people at Light Comic Studio found another artist for us, and since becoming an original, we've just continued adding on members. It used to just be one artist again, then they added someone for coloring, I think, and then they added someone for sketching. So now it's like a full 3 to 4 person team.
Okay.
And it works pretty well.
Yeah. The more people, the better. I heard, well, from the amount of creators and stuff we talked to, it's very hard to, even with just like a 2-person team, with one person handles the art, another person handles the story, it's very hard to meet deadlines and quality and all of that stuff. So I commend each and every person who does it, because I know it's very hard.
It's probably even harder for you guys because of like where you guys are in the world, right? You guys are all like somewhere different.
Yeah.
Time zones, everything.
It's just EU and NA, so it's not too bad. we do all of our work in a Discord server actually. So we kind of just usually how it works is in art. The timing actually works pretty well because the artists are in Asia, so they're ahead of us in hours. So they'll get artwork done, and then Mike and Hattie wake up next, and then they can review it. And then me and Rob wake up later, and we check on the reviews. That's kind of how it just happened.
Oh, that does work. That works great.
Yeah. And then if something not right, send it right back.
I mean, it's like that, but it's like assembly line of work, huh? It's just like they do it, and then it passes, and then it passes. Yeah,
and then
works out fine.
Yeah. The only time it doesn't work out is when we take more than a day for reviews. But we try and review as fast as possible to make life easier for the artists.
Yeah,
definitely. So how has the reception been since, the series has been out for a while now, almost 20 chapters in? How has the reception been from, just readers?
Hattie, do you want to take this one?
Oh, yeah. Basically, every time a chapter becomes free, the first thing I do is check the comments. So far, the reception has been great. In the beginning, most people were complaining that the chapters were short. There aren't many chapters. Blah, blah, blah.
The normal.
Though, we did tell them that over time the chapters will get longer, and they do. They do become longer. And most of them accepted that, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, basically the reception has been great. Everybody's been loving their chapters. Everybody's been loving the characters, whether it's main ones like Lev and Virga or side characters like Fog.
Yeah, reception's been really awesome, especially with the first chapter. Everyone's like, "Hey, Canvas Squad, we're here, we're here."
Yeah.
Like Hattie alluded to, there's a few people who are, just complaining in the comments like, "Hey, the chapters are so short. Why don't you release faster?" Or why do the chapters cost so much? But honestly, all of those things are out of our hands. So it's just like, well, we do what we can. We did definitely start out with smaller chapters, but that was actually mostly a function of we could only afford smaller chapters, and that was also a way to hit our schedule of what used to be bi-weekly.
Right.
So it's, it had to happen. We're up to we used to have a minimum of 35 panels per episode. Now we're up to we're usually
55?
in 45 to 55 range. Sometimes we go over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a solid 20-30% increase.
Right. Oh, definitely. Well, hey, at least he was able to increase. I do have to admit I am one of the people who complain about chapters being short. However, I tend not to say anything because I do understand how hard it is to make very long chapters. So even though, guilty person, guilty, had to raise my hand. I love long chapters.
We're all guilty.
Yeah, I love long chapters, but I do understand the backside of it. Hey, it's more to it than just writing and drawing and putting on 70-80 panels per chapter. There's a lot more that goes into it. So I definitely have to go ahead and say that.
If you like long chapters, there's a project that Mike and I are working on right now where the first chapter is going to have about 94 panels. So you'll enjoy that one. It's going to cost us a lot.
You want to speak more on this potential project, or is
maybe later? I think we have quite a few projects we're working on. That one that I just alluded to is the newest one, but we can talk about that later. This is Lord of Goblins' time to shine.
Right, exactly. All right, so one. Okay, let's start with this. Now that we're getting into it, season 1 is going pretty good. Have any big surprises in store for the readers in season 1? Anything that maybe that was in Canvas that you changed dramatically, to give maybe a shock value or more story lore, or is there a big reveal maybe coming sooner than what people think? Can either of you allude to that?
Yeah. About that, we can't say too much because it will be spoilers. We'd ruin the surprise.
I tried,
But
everybody.
there are certain, yeah, sorry. But there are certain characters in store, and I'll just tell you, you love it from doing the expedition arc. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think on Canvas we ended at kind of like a spoilery or a cliffhanger area. It's right before maybe one of my favorite chapters art-wise that we stopped. The second half, I'll say, of season 1 goes a lot more into the main characters because we've, established who they are for the most part. It goes into a lot of their interactions. It goes a lot into... It teases, I would say, more of what exists outside of the caverns that much of the story is based around for season 1. And it definitely ends in a pretty rude cliffhangery spot, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as of right now, are we almost halfway through season 1, or we're not even close to being halfway? How we're looking on that front?
Season 1 is going to be about 60 episodes.
Okay.
So I think the canvas stopped at around 31.
Yeah.
So right about halfway.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's awesome.
That's very good. Yeah, we know majority of people stop at like 50. So
yeah. So
season 2 is going to be about 50 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already planning that out too, huh?
Yep. It's all based on the book, and I can't wait for season 2.
Sheesh.
When we finish season 1, anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think the overall plan is to have about 10 seasons of content.
Whoa.
So,
Okay.
We'll keep making the books. As for the webcomic, as long as Webtoon keeps allowing us to, we'll keep on that too.
So what has been like the biggest learning lessons that you guys had when you were canvases that you took into the originals? So like whatever you learned, how did you implement it in the original?
I definitely say keeping production pace up because you gotta learn, you gotta balance quality and your production schedule. So there's a lot of times with Patty in particular where there's like small things that he really wants to change. And I, as the producer, I just go to Hattie. I'm just like, are you sure we need that? Because we have no time left. Can you live without it? And Hattie was
I can't help it.
Yeah, he's like, fine, we'll deal with it. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a punching. I wouldn't be surprised if the entire production team honestly has a punching bag with my face on it. And like after I tell them they can't have something, they just like, all right, yeah, fine. And they walk in with a punching bag. They're just like, all right, here, have at it,
Had it like, and that's exactly why I'm not turning my camera on, because I cannot let you see that punching bag.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of his face. I'm gonna stick it to that dog right there. I'm gonna punch the dog.
He's like, that's exactly why.
That's funny.
Basically, every time Mike and I review a script, there has to be something we want to change to make it more similar to the book.
So, Hattie, for you, how hard is it to try to stay as close to the book as possible? Like, I know you want to try and fit everything, to also want to appease the book readers, and also
since it's a webtoon, we have to summarize everything. And besides, Rob is doing a great job.
Yeah,
we do have our moments where we're being nitpicky, but Rob is really doing a great job.
Definitely. Do you get a lot of book readers complaining about how it's different?
It's actually really close. It's like 80%, 90% based off the book. And for the things that aren't, we kind of resolve that by saying, hey, look, these are basically parallel worlds. Okay, they're going to be really similar. They're not going to be exactly the same.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, because I definitely know that's always the hard part, is trying to please both parties.
Both audience, yeah, for sure. It was, how those readers are. They're like, no, this didn't happen.
It's like walking a
Then you get the
tightrope.
hate mail.
Yep.
I don't think we've had anyone say that, thankfully.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, so far. We'll see.
Well, I mean, as long as you keep it, like you said, like 80 to 90% accurate to it, then you'll probably be okay. Because the things that you guys decide to take out are probably so small that either they didn't notice it or they're just like add and make gonna have a reason to be there anyway.
One big thing that we're doing is we are taking moments of Lev's previous life and in the books that used to be kind of just
Bonus
spread throughout the
chapter
book.
at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, so like side
Yeah,
stories,
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah. So we have two versions of the books. We have the original version where Lev's like past life was spread throughout the book, and then the newer version, which we call the definitive edition. It's all just at the end in bonus chapters, like Hattie said. And
Yeah, it
it's gonna
has some new chapters. It explains the characters better, and instead of spreading out and destroying the workflow, the flow of the book, the perspective, we've put the chapters at the end to make it easier for the readers.
We had a reviewer of our books. I forget which one, but he did a YouTube review for us, and he was like, "I really like the book, but my God, it makes me feel stupid because it just kept skipping around to like from one character's point of view to another, and then like from Lev's past life into the current life, and it was just too much. So we streamlined it.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel that's, could be very valuable feedback, to help make it easier. As I'm sure that also helped with transferring it into a webcomic, the streamlining process to how you already know how to navigate and maneuver and make it more streamlined and easier to read. So I could say that was pretty valuable.
Not many writers get to do a second do of their book.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when it's a series.
That is definitely true. So you guys definitely definitely got that one out of the park. Definitely did good on that. Oh, sorry. All right. So with Lord of Goblins doing really well, everybody's working very cohesive, because last time when we talked to Mike and Rob, Rob was saying how it was hard at first because the time zone differences, and then how during the canvas days it was a real struggle to get art and everything together. So do you feel that the quality of the art has improved as each chapter goes on?
Personally, I feel the team is getting better and better over time, and they're gaining more experience.
Yeah, because it's a new team, right? It's a kind of a newly put together team.
Well, the main
Not
artist is the same since like chapter
6 or 7.
Yeah, thereabouts. But we've added people onto the team, so the art style changes a bit. I will say there's definitely areas where there's like art level jumps. But more so, I'd say they're mostly like side grades, because they're like slight stylistic differences, which are unavoidable when you add people to a team.
Right.
But we definitely have like specific chapters where we focus on the art a little more, and we have the time to do so, where the art level jumps up. And then for some of the other chapters, we have like a kind of baseline where if we don't go under that, we feel pretty good about it. But we definitely save our best for specific chapters that have either extra meaning or just have like some nice action.
Epic theme.
Yeah, pretty much.
So can you elaborate more on how that process is? Because we've seen, with reading a lot of different comics and series, that certain chapters are quality jumps compared to other chapters. Can you explain how that process is, and what goes into like, okay, this chapter or this particular set of chapters, we're going to definitely focus on art a lot more. Like how do you go about doing that?
Honestly, mostly it's on the artist side. And they kind of read the script and they're just like, oh, this is a cool one. We're gonna like really step it up on this one. There are some areas such as the Gilmar fight, which is coming up on Webtoon Originals, where we reached out to them and was like, hey, like this is the first big thing, we want it to look really nice. So it's a mix of the artist is taking it into their own hands, and for some specific arts, we'll be like, hey, you know, if you can make it a little better, that would be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's mostly up to Light Comic Studio.
Okay.
Have there been surprises to you guys? Like whenever you guys get the art and it comes through, like, have you guys seen panels that like surprise you? Like, whoa, this is actually better than what we expected or thought it would look like?
Oh yeah.
And if so, like where? A lot?
Hattie, do you have any specifics? Because I have specifics.
Yeah, I do have some specifics. Like Moon said, the Gelmar fight. There's also the Virga chap. There's the one with the Zeja.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll know who she is soon. And there's no, not the epilogue. I'm just gonna say the guide. I won't explain a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say a lot of spoil. But just as there are characters we call the guides, and they play a big role in the series.
Yeah. The guys are actually the first characters we got proper design sheets for before they appeared in the comic.
Mm-hmm.
The series
they were
was
in
put
the light
together.
novel.
Yeah. A lot of it was put together very haphazardly. Like, I don't think any other character actually got a design sheet, which is like, you talk to webcomic creators and there's like, that's freaking insane.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, well, we got through it, you know? But we're definitely going to take some time off before season 2 starts to get some proper design sheets done for the newer characters.
Okay. So I know you mentioned when you said just now webcomic creators be like, that's crazy and everything. So have you guys spoken with any other creators, and if you have you gotten any like advice from them on how to maybe, you know, better navigate around certain things, being that you guys are, you know, I wouldn't say you're new to the webcomic scene, but maybe just some veterans or whatever that you may have asked advice or little tidbits or hints about anything?
Yeah,
or just the process of going from canvas to the original, right? Because there's a big difference support wise and how your content's actually put out in front of more people, right?
Yeah, funnily enough, I think because of the level of competition in originals, I think it might actually be easier for some series to grow on canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Because just, you know, if you're in that top spot, you're number 1, they scroll over to canvas and you're right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now, if you're looking for Lord of Goblins, you have to go into the fantasy section and then scroll down a little, or you have to go into the Monday section and scroll down a little. So we're not like right there.
Mm-hmm.
So our day-to-day growth, I say, is actually slower than on canvas.
Mm-hmm.
But our initial growth, I think we hit like 80,000 subscribers in like a day. Right?
That was
Which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Also, probably a lot of that was from canvas, to be fair, especially with the amount of Canvas Squad comments we were seeing. There is, I think I'm allowed to say this because it's been said on Reddit, but there is a Discord server where all of the Webtoon original content creators congregate and kind of talk to each other. So we were able to like get some info from, you know, really big names like Rachel from Lore Olympus and a lot of others, of just like kind of what to expect from your Webtoon editors, how, you know, negotiations work. We don't really need agents because I negotiate for us and it's been going pretty well so far, fingers crossed. And you know, some of the stuff doesn't really apply to us, but I could definitely see how it would be very, very useful for maybe an individual creator who doesn't have a support team, doesn't have an agent, and needs to kind of like learn all of those things really fast, like how to find team members, how to match that production speed, because that's probably the biggest jump from canvas to originals. Because a lot of people on canvas, right, they'll do chapter 1 part 1, chapter 1 part 2, chapter 1 part 3. You can't do that on originals. So.
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Yeah. For us, honestly, the learning curve was probably a lot lower than most people because we were already operating like we were in original series while we were on canvas.
That's good. So the transition wasn't too bad or too crazy.
Yeah.
So for those creators who are probably watching this and listening to you, listen to both of you, any advice that you have for them, whether it's starting on Canvas or trying to get to an original, any advice that you would have for them, or maybe just trying to start a webcomic in general?
Hattie, you go first because I can talk about this forever.
I'll go first. They should focus on the workflow, stabilize everything, and have a clear idea of their webtoon or comic. Because most people who start on Canvas don't have an idea for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
They start writing their idea or multiple ideas and hope they get bored or they get confused. They don't know how to progress the plot, and that screws them over. Another thing is the workflow. They really, like we did, they really should focus on a good workflow, since if they go to original, even if they don't, they have to make sure that they have a constant release rate, or the readers might complain.
Okay.
So far, our readers, whether it was Canvas or original, have been good to us, especially the Canvas squad. They stuck through and through to the end. But I don't know if every series will have readers like ours.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Canvas squad stand up.
Yeah. I think we've had some pretty loyal readers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know where to start. I've actually thought about like creating a YouTube series for this, but then I don't have time for it. I have time to like rant about stuff. I don't have time to like video edit and do all of that stuff. But there's like two ways to approach it, right? One, you're an artist and you can draw, and maybe you're good enough of an artist where you can do the sketch work, maybe some of the line work, maybe you're bad at coloring, you know? There's levels to that. And then on the other side, you can be the writer, right? You can be the story maker. The story maker way I get contacted a lot about, because especially after Lord of Goblins launched, and then we partnered with Athon for a few of their to adapt a few of their books. I get like 2 or 3 people DMing me every week about like, hey, I want to get a story made and I want to get it made into a webcomic. What do I do? Right? And in many cases, these are established authors with like solid reader bases. And number one is, do you want to fund the pitch yourself, or do you want to get somebody to fund the pitch for you? And if you want someone to fund the pitch for you, I only really know of Moon Quill and Athon, but there's probably a lot of other publishing companies out there who would be willing to put their toes into adapting stuff into webcomics, just because that's a pretty cool format. There's not a single author out there who doesn't want to see their stuff adapted into some sort of visual medium. So if the people behind the publishing company have any background as creatives, they probably want to see that stuff happen. So one, reach out to a company that is already adapting works, or just try. And the second is you have to decide who's going to be writing the scripts if you're approaching from the writer's side, right? Like if you're already writing the book, are you going to be the one writing the scripts? Do you have the time for that? Do you have the brain power for that? And do you honestly know anything about like what kind of template to use and all of that? To that point, Moon Quill, we actually created a script writing course that we give to all of our script writers, and it was made by Rob, who actually is a college professor who teaches script writing at a college level. So we're really lucky to have that. It's a really great resource for us, and we share it occasionally with authors and other business partners. But after you have funding, whether from yourself or from a publishing company, and then you have the scripting, then you have to go and find an art studio, right? Like for Just a Goblin, right? I believe the author found a solo artist who's been doing the art for Just a Goblin, and he's been freaking amazing. You can do that. I'd say it's a little hit or miss, because with any individual artist, they can be awesome, or they could be awesome for a few chapters and then just disappear off the face of the earth.
They get tired.
Yeah.
in our case, because we're a business, we wanted to work with other businesses such as like Comic Studio. Now we're also working with Cocoon Production and KP Comics. There's a few other like Asian art studios that are pretty affordable. Kisai is one of them. King Entertainment is another. There's just a bunch of them. If people in the comments want help with sourcing any art studios or just knowing which ones to contact, they can hit me up. I'll look at the comments in this video whenever it comes out. And then, you know, at that point, you just have to figure out all of the designs for the characters, because you probably don't have them, because when you're writing a book, right, you're just like, oh, you know, he's wearing a red cloak and steel-toed boots. I don't know. Right? He's wearing whatever the heck he wants.
Right.
And he looks however the heck you want. You can just say he has brown hair that's short and black eyes, right? But you have to be like, well, brown hair, short. Okay, that's like 100 different hairstyles.
Right.
So can you like narrow that down a little?
Yeah.
Get something that you actually look like. And then, you know, when the art starts coming in for like the first 2 chapters, my personal recommendation is that you get 1 or 2 pitch chapters done. You can pitch to companies like Webtoon and Tapas with like just sketch art or storyboards. But if you want to be like, hey, we're like really serious about this, what we've done is like 1 or 2 pitch chapters of full art. And that usually costs anywhere between, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000 for the art. Tack on the character designs that you need for first 2 chapters. That's probably like another $1,000. So you're talking like $3,000, $4,000 to get, you know, your first pitch done. That's a fair chunk of change, but it's not gonna like bankrupt you for the rest of your life, right? So that's kind of what you're looking at if you're approaching from the writer side. If you're approaching from the artist side, the more you can do yourself, the better, right? Because if you can do the character designs yourself, that's $1,000 you're saving. If you can do the storyboards yourself, that's probably like $500 you're saving. If you can do the line art yourself, that's probably another like $1,000 you're saving. If you can,
and the coloring and shading.
Yes.
That's another like $1,000 right there. So like, the more you can do, the more you save. And the main issue with being a one-man squad for the artist to be the artist and the writer is that you can only focus on so much, right? If you're putting all of your attention on making the art awesome, you're probably going to slack off a bit on the story. If you're a writer and you're, you know, you don't really have a choice as a writer, you have to find someone else to do the art for you. But as an artist, I would recommend that you put as much time before you start doing the art into the story so that you can get by without that additional concentration on the storyline when you start doing the art. Yeah.
That's all very valuable information.
For sure.
Very valuable.
I can talk about it for a long time. Yeah,
that's very valuable because so many people, I see so many comments under like creators, you know, stories or just on Twitter, and they be like, hey, I want to start a webcomic, or I can't, you know, draw really well, or I can draw really well, but I suck at story writing, and they try to navigate and find, you know, different avenues to, you know, get into the medium. And even though webcomics isn't necessarily new, it's still very new overall, just on a grander scale of things.
Yeah.
Because
it's not like manga.
Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people realize like Webtoons, Naver and Tapas, which are the 2 biggest ones, but overall they're relatively small in comparison. So it's always good to get valuable information to help people get into different genres and stuff.
Webtoon might be small. Naver is not.
Yeah, Naver isn't. Naver is not. That is correct. Naver is not. But Webtoon's as the platform is definitely smaller than I think people realize.
Yeah, it's no YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. So, as we're getting close to the end, what are both of you guys' favorite webtoons, or are you reading anything currently that you're enjoying? Hattie, how about you? Let's go first.
Let me start.
Yeah.
Usually I read Barbarian let's start with things I read on Webtoon,
Okay.
like Viral Hit, Lookism, How to Fight, stuff like that. I don't know why I focus a lot on fighting scenes that involve schools.
He wants to punch me. I know it.
Now, outside of Webtoon, I really like Skeleton Soldier, Omniscient Readers, Viewpoint, and what was its name? There's this manga that got axed called Tenro no Avalon. It's really great.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that's why it got axed. Not to love. They had to rush the ending.
Oh man,
that's tough.
It is tough. It is tough. All right, and Moon, what about you?
I'll agree on a Omniscient Reader. I had to stop reading it actually because I was getting jealous of the art. It's not a good thing. It's bad for my bank account, or I guess Moon Quill's bank account when I get jealous of the art because I start looking at, man, like how much more can I pay? Can I afford it?
How can we get to this?
Yeah, but you know, something to look forward to in the future. I do think that some of the new projects we're working on, especially the one Mike and I are working on together, is gonna have really good art. Let's see, other ones. I really like Greatest Estate Developer. I
That's
just
great
love all
series.
of Lloyd's faces.
Love it. Love it.
I think like chapter 99 or 100 had like a collage of all the faces
Yeah, I
of the
remember. Yeah, I
chapter. That was
was
great.
you were telling me about that. I was like, oh, I gotta.
My
I'm almost there
favorite
though.
chapter-
I'm almost there.
Yeah. All right. Well, you'll love it. One of my favorite chapters of the series actually is close to the end of, close to 100. I won't spoil it too much for you, but it's one where Lloyd's father is just like in a daze as he walks around his like county or whatever, because there's just so much weird shit happening.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like,
I can only
I'm
imagine.
over it.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's a really nice chapter because like nothing happens in the chapter, but I don't know, it's just like a really satisfying. I'm a kind of weird guy where like a lot of my favorite webtoon chapters are the weird ones. Like I think there's a chapter in Gosu where there's this one character, like the main character, sitting in like a hut, and you don't even see the main character. The entire episode is just like a still shot of like a doorway and of this guy just walking in and out, like saying a few lines that like get increasingly like aggressive, I guess, because the main character is not like reacting to him coming in and out. And then like it's literally the same shot for like 40 panels, and in the last one the guy's just like, why aren't you responding to me? And then like he tries to kill the main character, and then it just ends with like the main character, like I forget exactly what happens, but I think the main character just like walks out of the hut and like you can clearly tell he just killed the dude.
Right.
But it's literally one panel with slight differences for the entire episode, and that's probably one of my favorite web comic episodes of all time.
That's great. And now you did say Gosu. Are you looking forward to the anime?
I didn't even know an anime was coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, they have an anime coming out for Gosu and the Boxer.
Man, Lord of Goblins anime when?
Yeah.
We did get
That's what I'm
that
waiting for.
animated trailer made.
That was a good
That was
trailer.
dope.
That was a good trailer.
On that note, what studio would you guys want to animate your series?
What's that studio who does the Fate series?
Oh, Ufordable?
Oh yeah.
Or as I like to call them, Studio
Unlimited.
No Budget. Unlimited
Yeah,
budget.
yeah. And then I don't really know the other anime studios that well. Who did like season 3 of Attack on Titan?
I want to say, wasn't that Mappa?
That was Mappa.
Yeah, I think that was Mappa. Because it switched from Wit. I think Wit did the first one, or the first two, and then Mappa took over. So yeah.
Meanwhile, I would have chosen Madhouse, but the thing is with Madhouse, after season 1, it's kind of hard for them to make another season. So
Well,
that's kind of disqualified.
well, they have been doing
Other
good. Well, I would say
Yeah,
they've been doing
overall.
good with Ace of Diamonds as well, but they haven't did another season. Ace of Diamonds is like years, so.
Damn, Madhouse. What happened? Those are good picks though.
Yeah, those are all good picks.
Do you guys know that scene in Attack on Titan where Levi is ambushed by the dudes with guns?
Mm-hmm.
That like
that's
3-member sequence is incredible.
Definitely.
I love it.
Yeah, there's so many, man. So many.
Yeah, Attack on Titan has a lot.
A lot of great scenes like that.
I actually didn't really ever watch the series.
Mm-hmm.
I read the manga.
Yeah, same.
Like, I'll just read it. I ain't got time to watch it.
Yeah.
It's much quicker reading. All right, so now I know we alluded to it earlier. Did you want to say any more about the project that we was discussing earlier, Moon?
So, man, I don't know how to do this well, but maybe if I like share the screen and then we go into chat.
Okay, I'll watch.
So
Yeah. So, oh wait, actually, okay, this is how we can do it. I'll open these up in the browser.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can share my screen that way. Stop streaming, share my screen. Alright, let me know if that's fine for you guys.
Yeah, we can
Can
see.
you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we can see it.
So let's start with Lord of Goblins.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to tease some future art for Lord of Goblins.
That looks amazing, by the way.
So this is
Veja
Veja
herself.
again.
Mm-hmm.
And these are kind of spoilers, but they don't spoil that much. Mostly just want to show off the art. It's pretty nice. Unfortunately, do have to make it a little smaller when we put it on Webtoon because their episodes are 800 pixels wide.
Mm-hmm.
But here we can view in the full glory at 1600. By the way, I love this panel.
Yeah, all of these are amazing.
That spirit.
Yeah, they look dope.
Cool. And this right here is like something out of Solo Leveling. Like it's that kind of feel like that,
I was about to say that.
especially with the souls. Kind
Yeah,
of
I love that.
Yeah.
yeah. So this is some art from my favorite chapter. I think this is episode 34. So it'll be coming in what
What is it?
Months.
We're on 18 now, so
yeah.
19 or something.
yeah,
So like late December, early January, right?
right.
So it'll be coming out. This is a panel from another one, a series we're working on. It's in talks with Webtoon.
Mm-hmm.
I should say in negotiations with Webtoon. But this is by Cocoon Studio,
Okay.
and it's pretty good. It has probably one of the best storylines that we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
And we're pretty happy about like all of the production, all of that. It's you can see here we got dwarves, we got elves, we got fairies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little teaser.
Are those tieflings? Tieflings, I don't know how to pronounce their name. The ones with horns. Have demons.
Yeah, demons.
Demons.
This is another one that we're working with Light Comic Studio on.
Okay. So we got two projects. Okay.
I want you to guess how long the main artist has been drawing. Like, when did he begin to learn how to draw, and until now?
Given the way you said it, I'm gonna guess it hasn't been too long. So I'm gonna go with about 3 months. Well, what you say, G? I'm gonna say 3 months.
I'm gonna say
All right, 3 months is
at
a little
least.
low.
I'm gonna
Well,
say
I
at
don't
least.
know.
I'm gonna say at least a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been about
I'd
a
say
year
2
and a
years.
half.
2 years.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
He still had to learn the panel work. So
Hey, I've seen a lot of people that they just have that talent immediately.
Check out this panel that's coming up. You're gonna have to like turn your head sideways for it.
Oh, I'm used to that.
The amount
I think
of
my
stuff
neck is just
in this panel
wow.
is just magnificent.
That's a nice snake.
heck yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Those look like the ants you were telling me that was in China.
That's just one panel, man.
That's
and
crazy.
this is another one we're working with Cocoon Productions on.
Okay, so 3 projects. All right.
3 more projects, yeah.
Ah.
And then there's the one that Mike and I are working on.
I love the colors in this one.
And that looks
Oh,
dope.
We
Yeah.
did a good job with the colors on this chapter.
Yeah, definitely love the
Now,
colors. in
I
it.
will say not all of the art is as good as the stuff I'm showing.
Mhm.
Obviously, I cherry picked a little,
Right.
but you know, you can get a rough idea of what we're looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are all of these projects coming to Webtoons or different
I
platforms?
believe most of them are in talks with Webtoon.
Mhm.
The 3 projects that I showed other than Lord of Goblins, we are talking to them about. I don't think I'm allowed to say much more than that
Right.
because we're partnering
NDA.
with Python and they're the ones doing all of the talking
Oh.
Right.
for now. So, you know, on our side, we just want to, you know, build up a little hype for it in a harmless manner.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they'll handle things on their side.
Hey, I'm looking forward to each and every one of them. All of them look
Yeah,
amazing.
at least checking them out. Heck yeah.
Yeah, all of them
Hey.
look amazing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Love getting those little
you know,
snippets.
maybe like at the beginning of the new year, we'll be able to show you a teaser for the new project that Mike and I are working on. And I can promise you that one's going to look absolutely incredible.
Then we got to get you
Booming.
back on. We got to get you and Mike back on then.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get all of
Yeah.
y'all on at one time.
We want to do everyone at once.
Yeah, we want to
but-
do everybody.
All right, we can try it out. I have a feeling it might get a little hectic.
Hey,
That's
chaos,
what I'll be.
chaos is the best. Chaos is the best.
Rain.
Chaos is the
This is
best.
gonna turn into like you're gonna bring this on for like an hour-long episode interview, and it's gonna just turn into 3 hours of us just talking about the most random crap because that's always what happens. Like even just in the Discord chat, I'll like go to sleep and I'll wake up and there's like 170 messages in Discord. And I scroll up a bit and they're talking about like I don't know, they're talking about like the shape of like gates. And like it's 170 messages about the shapes of castle gates. And I'm just like, God.
What does this have to do with anything?
Like, that's just a random thing off the top of my head. I don't even know if they have talked about gates, but like, you know, it's just a random thing that they talk about for hours on end. And that's usually not even with all 4 of us together.
But that's also a good thing because it shows the chemistry and the bond that all of you have
for
in
sure.
a good working relationship.
Yeah, you guys can tolerate each other for that long.
Right.
'Cause some people do it for business and can't get along, you know, but for the business sake, right? But
I'd
guys
say
are-
we're all pretty much friends with each other at this point, which
Yeah.
is
Yep.
unique because we do have fairly varying age ranges. Yeah.
That's dope.
But that's all.
We appreciate those sneak peeks though, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, exclusive to you guys. I haven't shown anyone else yet.
That's awesome.
Not
Hey,
even Patreons.
ha ha, Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we here.
We've only shown them sketches, and like one sketch at that.
That's awesome.
That is definitely awesome. We definitely appreciate you sharing that with us and our viewers and our audience. Definitely appreciate that. But we're gonna go ahead and end it here. First of all, I want to thank both of you guys again for making time and coming on to do this interview. Also showing us the sneak peeks of what's to come in the future that everyone could be looking forward to. Is there anything else you guys want to plug before we head out?
Patty?
Yeah, I just want to say, not just for you, just also for the readers, be prepared. More is coming.
Well, it's
That's
coming.
awesome.
Did that sound a bit too forced?
Nah,
Nah.
Sounded
More
good to
is
me.
coming. We have more content for them, and it's all pretty
Yeah,
cool.
we do. More is coming, and
it sounded like you wanted to
enjoys
add more to it though. It sounded like you want to say like you know, put your seatbelts on because it's about
Yeah.
to be a ride.
Yeah, but you had to stop
you-
yourself
you
just
sounded-
short of it.
Yeah, you sounded super
Yeah.
hyped. So we appreciate that too.
I really don't want to blabber on and on and on.
Right,
and on.
right.
Mhm.
All right, you don't have to look at me when you say that. All right. As the CEO of Moon Quill, I kind of have to plug a few things.
Okay.
So
Go for
first
it.
off, publishing program. We are looking to invest a lot into our publishing program, especially with more skilled and more established authors. You know, even if you don't have a fan base, if your writing is like really up there, we are going to be willing to put a lot of resources into helping you and your book series grow. And part of that includes, you know, adaptations into audiobooks and webcomics and you know, anything beyond. I will say Moon Quill, for much of our history, has been a very small company, but we are growing at a very rapid pace nowadays. Just in the first half of this year, we exceeded our entire annual revenue from last year by 1,500%.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's just in the first half of this year.
Wow.
So
That's
we're
crazy.
Wow. That's
growing really quickly.
Congratulations on that.
yeah, definitely.
Thank you. We're growing really quickly. We're working really hard, and like we actually really care about the authors. I've been straight up yelled at by Jaren, our now publishing head, because I think we were looking at editing a book. And I was reading through it and I was like, you know, I think the editing on this is like pretty good now. I think we can just move forward to like formatting it, getting it ready for publication. Oh my God, I got yelled at. She was like, you think this is okay? I am going to murder you right now if you think this is okay. I will, you know, just
going on.
she was not okay with it. She was like, it has to be better. We are going to work on it more. We will make sure it is great by the time it's being published. And I was like, all right, okay, Jesus Christ. So our people really care.
Yeah.
And, you know, we do have Lord of Goblins as our flagship series. We are very much looking for a second or a third or a fourth or a fifth. So, you know, if you're looking to publish your book and you have aspirations of getting it adapted into audiobook and webcomic format, we are a pretty good route for doing that. We have now relationships with Webtoon. We're looking to develop relationships with other webcomic publishers, and, you know, we're growing. To that point, thank you guys very much for letting Hattie and I come onto this podcast and
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
spew out our thoughts. You guys are doing a great work. I've watched basically all of your interviews with webcomic creators. I hope more come on. Yeah.
Yeah, we love doing them. If anybody's watching, you know, want to help talk about your series, promote it in any way, or if you just like me and G just because you like us for whatever reason, you know, come on, go ahead and send us an email. You know, our business email is on the channel. If you go to our about section, you'll see the business email, or you can hit me up on Twitter, Discord, leave a comment. Anyway, we'll get to you. Very easy to get in contact with us. Very easy.
Yeah, I think you reached out to me on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I reached out on Instagram, and I think it was Mike who I talked to. Was it Mike that left a comment on the
No,
Lord
I
of
thought it was
Goblins
me.
video? That was you?
Or
If it was from the Moon Quill account, it was probably me. Mike
Okay.
only got full access to that recently, and he's been having fun with it.
Oh, he's been going to town with it, right?
Yeah.
Just been going to town.
Hattie and Mike are like a pretty perfect pairing, because Hattie basically keeps us all in check, I would say, and has very good idea of what the story needs to be and where it needs to go. And
same with Mike.
Mike, I would say, has the same qualities, but he's very much is like a doer in that, like, if the book like Lord of Goblins, it wasn't selling too well. So he just put a lot of effort into marketing. He was the first person, I think, in the light novel space to really reach out to like small YouTubers with like 100, 200, 1,000 subscribers. Just be like, hey, you want free Yeah. Everyone started copying us after it worked out. And yeah, Hattie and Mike are, you know, special. We're happy to have them.
Yeah. Usually I'm more of a hermit crab. Meanwhile, he's a genius in that regard.
Hattie's got a lot going on in his life. He's really busy.
That's all good though, all good. But again, we want to thank both of you. Everyone, make sure to go check out Lord of Goblins if you haven't already. If you haven't, I don't know what you're doing. First and foremost, great, amazing series. Come out every Monday or 7, well, depending on your time zone, Sunday nights. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check it out. The link to that series will be in the description as well. We're looking forward to having the whole team on as well. Hopefully maybe around when season 1 ends, somewhere in between there, when you guys had a good break or relaxed a little bit from season 1.
We'll celebrate.
Yeah, we'll celebrate, get everybody on, talk about season 1 and what everyone can look forward to in season 2.
We're pretty far on in production, actually. We're almost done with season 1. We're working on episode 52.
Oh wow!
Right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So we're pretty much there.
That's crazy.
A few months.
Oh, well, you heard it here first, people. You heard it here first.
And season 2's coming. So.
Yeah, and season 2 coming.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
And they want to reach season 10, so we got to support.
Yeah,
Definitely got to support. If
we
you
gotta
want
get
season
there.
10. You want season 10
And the anime.
Anime.
Oh, yeah.
And the anime. And
at least 6 seasons. 6 seasons and a movie.
And a movie? Okay, let's get
a movie.
Live action or
6 seasons
animated?
movie.
Live action or animated movie?
Animated.
Animated?
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
They
Live action is getting better though. Live action.
Live action is
It
getting
is.
better.
I think live action TV shows are better than live action movies though.
Yeah, I think they have
We'll
more.
do live action if like
At least the ones
Marvel
Netflix.
buys
At
the
least
rights.
At least the ones that are like on Netflix. You know, some of the live action shows.
Yeah.
Are good.
Now, would you rather have a live action movie or a series?
I think a series would be better because Lord of Goblins is big.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you get even bigger.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Or a
series are
trilogy.
better.
Move out of the way, Lord of the Rings. We've got some new champions in town.
I can see the memes already. Like Lord of the Rings, cross out the rings and
put
just
goblins.
Goblins.
Yep.
Yeah. Just
And let it go. Hey, it writes itself. It does write itself.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lev drinking sour on tears from a panhandle.
Not drinking a tear. All right, that's gonna do it for this one. Appreciate each and every one of you for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you guys think about everything in the comment section below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.